Step back from the stepping back itself. Terminologies purify themselves. It's impossible to take them into samsara. They purify themselves. The made up. It's impossible to create samsara. They purify themselves. Step back from the stepping back itself, child. No grasping is on its own. All that delusion to try to grasp or not grasp is already becoming samsara. Therefore, make up that purifies itself well. No grasping is on its own with everything. Even disengaging doesn't grasp for itself. Even the emptiness doesn't grasp for itself. It's not to be grasped. Even the non-attachment is not to be grasped. Be thorough in the way that is no, has nothing within no itself. Nothing is within the disengagements. This is not about drifting away or being in one place, sustaining anything in itself. It's not about staying within the stillness, indifference, or swinging here and there either. Nothing is within no itself, thoroughly. Nothing within the non-attachment. Be thorough with it. All the sustaining, projecting forward will be extinct all by itself. The habits of the worldlings will be extinct by itself. The habits of samsara, of realm of existence, will be extinct naturally. Whether it is the projecting forward, throwing forward, or sustaining, being in stillness or indifference, these are the habits of samsara, of realms of existence. No in the way that has nothing within no. No is not even no itself. Be thorough with it. Each reminder of each time, it is the sentence that purifies itself, that doesn't grasp for itself, that gives up itself. There is the great compassion that samsara receives greatly from it. It will reach samsara tremendously. This is total purification, helping through releasing and unwinding altogether. There is the mighty force of helping ceasing for samsara in the way that is tremendous. If it's impossible to purify the specificity, blessing samsara will not cover all, because there are so many beings underground or on the ground. There are a lot of them. If not discarding completely on its own, letting go on its own completely, releasing the fixation in seeing and knowing, the blessing will not cover everywhere and everything. That which is boundless, it has to be without regrets for the knowing and seeing, not knowing, not seeing, without regrets. In our entanglement with seeing and knowing, not knowing, not seeing, it has to be purifying with the boundlessness so that it will cover everywhere and everything. To be fixated, to be concerned with knowing or not knowing, seeing or not seeing, it will be stuck only there. It's not going to penetrate through anything. There is no blessing. Therefore, the mighty force of disengagement that has nothing within it, non-attachment on its own, has to be absolute, proceeded simultaneously, together with seeing and knowing, together with the gates of perceptions, or the so-called all things, proceeded simultaneously with all things, disengaged from itself simultaneously with all things. There is no need to be concerned with knowing or not knowing, seeing or not seeing specifically, understanding or not understanding. There is no need to be obsessed with projecting or not projecting anything so that it will be spontaneous. Vachara, simultaneity in the spontaneity, because of there is no concern with understanding or not, projecting or not, letting go or not letting go, is not having any concern with that kind of belief values. No burdens in that kind of belief values, over or not over, having or not having, ending or not ending. No belief values in such a way with the path to the enlightenment. And the foundation of the Mahakaruna, everything will be the strength of Samabat purifying samsara will be multiplying onwards. Except that you are lazy to bless, you are lazy to share the great compassion. The power is from the great compassion, is from the blessing side. The blessing will add more power to itself. So diligently bless. The blessing will have power that multiplies by itself. It will multiply by itself. Even the power of Samabat is not evenly, because Samabat, if it's within itself, it's grasp for itself, concerning with getting in and out of it. It's just like that. Even the power of Samabat has to be coming from the foundation of the great compassion for blessing. It has to be used to help end for samsara. Then the power of Samabat will be multiplied. The power of Samabat and the great compassion has no limits, all the same. This is called Samabat Sunyata. The only thing that purifies samsara, that is used to purify samsara. Samabat in the way that is boundless. It is not Samabat for the sake of Samabat. It's not for emptiness for the sake of emptiness. Non-attachment for the sake of non-attachment. Non-attachment in the way without limits. Emptiness is also boundless. It is not emptiness that is emptiness. It is not just that. Emptiness is not emptiness even itself. Therefore, just know that is not know itself. Let's not be obsessed with the path to the enlightenment in this way or that way. With such a belief values, there are just burdens within the path to the enlightenment on and on. Thinking all by oneself and believe it as it is. It is to be cut, not to be practiced. It is not to be grasped, but is grasped instead. Until it becomes burden, full brain, being concerned with practicing vipassana, kamasthana, and passing on. That which is not to be grasped, but is grasped instead. Referring like this, referring like that. Buddha words like this, like that. Have you ever heard right in front of the Buddhas at all? Just claiming from the books. Or you just thinking according to what they said, full of horns on the head. There is no burden within seeing or not seeing, within knowing or not knowing. There is no projection within knowing or not knowing, seeing or not seeing. This will penetrate through without limits. Purify through the emptiness automatically, uncountably, endlessly. To be stuck with just projection is like so firm attached, so firm fixation, that which is not to be held on to. Creating only samsara of realms of existence. The projection doesn't purify itself, it's stuck right there, creating only samsara of realms of existence. The form up doesn't purify itself, terminologies don't purify themselves, turning into terminologies that are deluded to themselves, becoming samsara of terminologies. No grasping for the non-grasping itself. This is not about not wanting anything or not grasping anything. To use this kind of act, it overlaying, it becomes grasping. Letting go is on its own. It's not about an act of letting go of anything. Whenever there is this act, it becomes no letting go. It turns into samsara of the path. All the path and the result is still samudaya. Nibbana has nothing to do with samudaya, with any path or any result. Emptiness has nothing to do with itself. It's not relevant to itself. It's not that emptiness is not relevant to anything. It's not relevant to itself. To be obsessed, to uninvolved in this way or that way, to this and that, that is involvement within the uninvolvement. There is still a delusion to involve within the uninvolvement, uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself instead. That is ending within itself, ending the ending itself. being obsessed to create a path to the enlightenment on and on. That's why it becomes samsara. There is no need to compromise with anything. What is there within the path to the enlightenment? Don't be the slave to any belief values. No is not no itself. Not attached to the non-attachment itself. Once there is fixation to not attach to this, to that, it becomes a path to the enlightenment another kind. Therefore, there is no exception with any kind of path. A path to the Arahant, to the four entries of enlightenment. These are still samsara within itself. No is not no itself for both samsara of the worldlings and the noble ones. Nibbana is not in the front. It's not in the front. Even the present is not it, let alone the front. Therefore, no is not no itself instead. Nibbana doesn't signify itself as Nibbana. What is there that is made up as the present is all about delusion. Opinions that is deluded, terminologies that are deluded. This is the desire and delusive attachment that overlays on top of the present. Emptiness is not even emptiness itself. This is not about emptying of something, trying to find free time. That is desire that is swinging. This is not about emptying from anything, child. Emptiness is not emptiness itself. It's not about emptying from anything. Emptiness is not emptiness. The emptiness is not the emptiness itself. The emptiness that doesn't have meanings as the emptiness. Emptiness that is not something that is emptying. With this, it will be by Mahasunyata, purifying endlessly, countlessly, constantly. Let's proceed diligently through the great compassion, diligently. Proceed simultaneously all together with everything, child. Non-attachment on its own proceeded simultaneously with everything. This is diligence of the great compassion in blessing.